Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMTrading. Today is February 14th, 2019, and today is Thursday morning, including Valentine's Day, just to be aware. But looking at the economic events, major economic events of the day, we have at 3:30 South African time, core retail sales numbers coming out, including PPI numbers coming out of the United States. So that's happening at 3:30 South African time. Now, these numbers are important, but I wouldn't add so much weight to them. They can push the markets higher, so it is important that they're coming out and need to know what's going on. Now, looking at the market's Forex symbols, the euro goes through a yo-yo ride, really a yo-yo ride. It looked like it was going to bounce, going to make that bottom, and then it was going to continue trading within that range, but it faltered and it's back on its lows right now. Looking at the Dow Jones, hit a little bit of turbulence yesterday, quite a volatile day, but ended the day on a positive note and continues its strength. We'll take a look at that in just a second. Commodities, gold forms a new range. It's trading between 1315-ish level and 1308, 1306-ish level. We'll take a look at that. And oil continues its ascent together with the Dow Jones. So that's still trading together. Now, lastly, looking at the stocks, which is kind of funny because the Dow Jones looks like it's really getting strong, but the FANG stocks are all down. I'm talking about Facebook, I'm talking about Apple, I'm talking about Amazon. These guys are all down. So it's kind of ironic that the markets are, rebounding themselves and all these stocks are kind of, capitulated or made their move already. But let's take a look at today's market and see what we can expect from today's trading. So what becomes a support and it breaks the support becomes subsequent resistance. And that's exactly what happened right here. It didn't continue this rally on the upside, faltered right here at 113.40-ish level, and then we made back our lows to 12.72. Now we're back there on a new kind of bottom. Okay, the reason I say a new kind of bottom because it hasn't really, it broke lower, number one, so it's a new kind of bottom, but secondly, it bounces off of it. So I'm not sure if it's going to continue this slide further down. Looking at a daily, it looks like it's capitulating at that area. So it may still bounce off of this area. And there's been traffic in this area before. So all said, for this to really, show us that it's breaking down and hitting that new low of 1190 or 111, 112-ish area, is if it continues to sell off. Okay, so you got to keep an eye on that to see if that actually trades later today. Now, looking at the GBP USD, we continued our little descent as we continued our ascent from last time, but really it looks like it's consolidating here. So I do expect the euro also to consolidate around these levels. Aussie dollar, same story, really just trading sideways right now. So in terms of the euro, I would expect it to kind of bottom up right now. However, just keep an eye if it does continue to sell off. Now, looking at that gold, we're looking at a 1-hour chart. This is pretty decent kind of trading, if you're trading just the zone, okay? Upper limit is 1315-ish, like I mentioned before, and the lower zone is 1306. And right now we're just trading right, in that area. So on a 1-hour chart, you're doing okay if you're selling the top of the move, buying the bottom of the move, and selling and trading within this area. You could use the RSI as a good indicator to give you entry points, especially when it comes closer to the 1306-ish level. Now, looking at oil, that continued back above the $54 range, okay? The impetus of that was the oil production yesterday coming out with numbers. So, things are kind of looking up and up in the markets right now as we've, solidified and gone past the events of November, December of, flash flood and flash sell-off that we had. As looking at the Dow Jones right now, we're trading right now at 25,560-ish level. And as you can see, we've rallied almost 1,000 points over the past 2 weeks. So really a really nice couple of weeks. And we're almost back up to our all-time highs, only 1,000 points back. But what's funny about this is that we're looking at the major stocks, they're not going higher. So it kind of means that the old school kind of businesses are still doing well. That's basically what's in the core business of the United States, the Boeings, the Bank of Americas, the Microsofts, the, major conglomerates of the United States, Colgate, Palmolive, some of the oil companies, all the major industries in the United States are all doing very well. However, looking at Apple, we had a sell-off yesterday below 70 at $170, okay, from 174 down to 169-ish level. Facebook, same story. Let's look at that. We're trading at 163 from her high of 170, which was a nice little rally that we had. And Amazon, lastly, at 1638, selling off a little bit from 1649. Now, still, Okay, these stocks are really very strong. Okay, just because they sold off one day doesn't mean that they're, that's it. We're going back into a recessionary kind of environment. However, it is important to take note of it because it's a little bit of a misdirection here as the market kind of strengthens, but the stocks kind of falter. So it's a little bit of a questionary area as to which direction we'll go next. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.